Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz is kind of a rock star in the business world, a success story who grew up in public housing in Brooklyn. Those roots may be showing in his latest project to create jobs, stepping in where he thinks Washington has failed. It's a program to help finance loans to American entrepreneurs in poor areas of the country. Take a look. To his role as businessman, add philanthropist, and one more thing. Schultz says he's a concerned American who, despite his many millions, maybe feels a little like you do, a little fed up with Washington and a lot worried about the economy. I wanted to get your take, because so often in the Beltway, you can ask a politician how they think the economy is going, and this will surprise you. You often get a political answer. So I want to know, from a CEO point of view, what your feel is for the economy today.
I think that as we look at the economy today, we are looking at a bifurcated situation. At the high end, the people who are making money and have disposable income and live a life that, for the most part, is insulated from the drama of being unemployed and the mortgage crisis, those people are fine. However, there's so many people in America who are suffering, and such a lack of hope and understanding about the situation in Washington.
I guess the question is, do you sense it's any better? And here are the figures I would point out to you. The Dow Jones at this point is pushing into the 13,000 level, which is the highest we've seen it in years. The unemployment rate is 8.3, not great, but it's not the 10% it used to be. And consumer confidence has been up for the last 4 weeks, and you know and I know that when the consumers are feeling confident, it tends to help drive the economy. So do you sense that this, to me, is the same kind of picture that you painted 4, 5, 6 months ago? Do you sense that nothing has changed?
I really believe that you cannot use the stock market as a proxy for the economy, and consumer confidence, although it is a good metric, also should not be the primary issue. I really believe that the economy, perhaps on the margin, has been improved. But at the same time, you have the majority of states in America who are facing insolvency, cutting social services and the safety net of the people who need it most. And the unemployment level is at a level that we should not be celebrating the fact that we're down from 9.1 to 8.3. We still have a disastrous situation in America where people feel as if they have no hope and no opportunity for jobs. And as a result of that, their self-esteem, it's almost a fracturing of the morality of America when we're celebrating these kinds of statistics and when we still have so many people in the country who can't find a job.
And so who do you blame for that?
Well, I'm not here to point blame, but I do feel
somebody's
very
not stepping up
concerned.
to the plate.
Well, I'm profoundly disappointed at the fact that we have leaders in Washington who I do not believe are representing the interest of America. There should be a singular focus on job creation and the economy in America. There should be a singular focus on getting banks to lend to small businesses. The fact is that the businesses in America that had access to credit 10 years ago, 7 years ago, do not have that access to credit today. And that is why we decided to get involved in this job creation and raise money through the Opportunity Finance Network and get CDFIs involved in almost creating microloans for small businesses. And
okay, I wanted to just sort of give our viewers an idea of what you're talking about for those who don't go to Starbucks. You have a Create Jobs for USA program whereby visitors to Starbucks or your website or whatever can contribute to a fund that backs up loans, particularly in underserviced communities, for small businesses to help create jobs. So I just wanted to make that what you were talking about clear. And tell me at this point how many jobs this has actually created. But I think more to the point, I have to tell you, my first reaction when I walked into Starbucks and saw this thing that says you can buy a little rubber wrist bracelet and help create jobs, my first thing was, whoa, Isn't it the government's job to create an atmospheric so that jobs are already created? What does it say about this country and where we are right now that U.S. citizens have to give money to a fund like a fight cancer
Sure.
fund in order to create jobs?
Well, I think that your question and the approach to that question is exactly right. But my view of this is I don't want to wait for Washington any longer. I want to encourage businesses and business leaders to step up and recognize that we too have an opportunity and responsibility to the people and the communities we serve. I do believe, and I hate to say this as a proud American, that Washington and the leadership in Washington has let the country down. It's not a Republican or a Democratic problem. It's a problem in the fact that we are not gaining access to the leadership and the results that we need. And I think if you talk to most Americans, we feel as if, for some reason, that Washington has lost touch with the pulse of the country. And the fact that we're arguing constantly, day in and day out, about ideology, about partisanship, and everyone in Washington is more concerned about re-election than the core issues of the country, there's something significantly wrong. And what I'm saying is, I'm tired of the blame. Forget them. I'm just going to do whatever I can to use our scale for good and encourage other businesses to join with us and try and make a difference.
You know, Mr. Schultz, I think you're an idealist here, but let me...
No, I'm not an idealist. I'm a proud American that is disappointed with the direction of the country.
You ever plan on running for office? Because you sound like you might be gearing up.
I have no interest in public office. I have only one interest, and that is I want the country to be on the right track. I just feel that for some reason, over the last few years, there's been a fracturing of understanding and sensibility about the responsibility that the leadership in Washington must have to the people who are being left behind. And I'm significantly disappointed about the ideology, the partisanshipness, and obviously the way in which everyone in Washington is focused on one thing right now, which is re-election.
Howard Schultz, CEO of Starbucks, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.